Hello and welcome to the Postcast Podcast. My name is Caitlin. If this is your first time checking out my prediction videos, I would suggest watching the beginning of January 2023 to get my prelude, since I'm starting to feel like a broken record about my disclaimers and my background on my predictions, etc. If you'd like to follow me as I review what my predictions were and how they line up, I'm on Instagram at kates.perspective, that's CAITS.PERSPECTIVE, or if you prefer Facebook, I'm on facebook.com/Kate's Astrology Perspective. A few things before I begin. I practice astrology using the tropical zodiac, and I use the whole sign house system, not Placidus like most apps will default to. I used Eastern Standard Time up until October. After October, I used Greenwich Time, which I gave an explanation for in the January 2023 predictions. You'll notice I have somewhat funny phrasing for most of my predictions. I start with the transits, then some keywords, and then I take a shot at synthesizing the phrasing with the world as we know it. It can sound a bit chaotic, but there is a method to my madness. With all that done, let's kick off May 2023. On Monday, May 1st, Pluto stations retrograde at 0 degrees 22 minutes Aquarius until about October 10th, when it hits 27 degrees 54 minutes Capricorn. We also have the Sun in Taurus conjunct Mercury retrograde in Taurus on this day. If I continue with the retrograde formula, we have Pluto presenting the topic that deals with a blend of Capricorn and Aquarius themes from December 18th, 2022 to May 1st, 2023. That topic would then be reviewed between May 1st to October 10th, 2023, and then it should be resolved between October 10th, 2023 to January 21st, 2024. Once again, I just want to mention that I personally do have difficulty seeing the outer planet retrograde formulas manifest, but I'll give it a shot one last time this year. So in using the formula, is the Pluto and Aquarius theme apparent yet? How do we blend Plutonian themes both with Capricorn and Aquarius? Shady power amongst institutions having a push and pull power dynamic with large groups of people via the internet? I'm really taking a shot in the dark here though. Non-astrologically talking, I find it difficult to imagine the power gets shifted to the people, but we'll run with it for now to create a framework of an archetypal path that this transit could potentially represent. I feel like this could be like major power players trying to infiltrate institutions and online spaces amongst the commoners. In regards to the Sun and Mercury, I might say that the focus is on security, but perhaps there is something that is supposed to be reviewed in discussion that is being overlooked. It could be something like the Fed being asleep at the wheel with the risky business that happened with SVB as I write this update for my initial November 2022 predictions in March 2023. With this power push and pull amongst institutions versus the commoners, how are we able to keep communication about safety at the forefront? There's this jockeying for power, but we need to be very careful to not get carried away and ruin everything. Thursday, May 4th, we have Venus in Gemini square Neptune in Pisces. Good communication is at a turning point with tricking people. Does someone come clean? The gift of gab has to find a way to appease or change the tune of something in order to deceive the collective consciousness. I feel like the goal is to fool people and it might work. However, with that square, perhaps the Gemini character has trouble deceiving because they elaborate too much in this conversation and end up inadvertently letting out the truth. Like the lie could get too intricate and falls apart. It could also be like the rich having trouble relating to what the rest of the collective consciousness is dealing with. Or like an analogy I made last month, it could be luxurious travelers have trouble seeing what's in the water. Once again, a Titanic reference, but don't fret, these placements weren't there when it sank. However, Venus and Neptune were in water signs. For Pisces rising, you may be having a sweet or good time at home or with family, but this is at a turning point with potential miscommunication. Your family might be relying on you. Be careful not to drop the ball. If there's some sort of a disagreement or argument, think everything through. It's likely you're in the wrong. Nothing major, just be thoughtful. Friday, May 5th, we have Venus in Gemini sextile Jupiter in Aries. We also have our first lunar eclipse of the year in Scorpio. This will be a penumbral lunar eclipse, which basically means it's not a perfect eclipse. Good communication flows with expansion in war or truth in war. Also, dark, secretive, obsessive feelings or the emotional state is at odds with focus on security. Is there good communication about victory in war? Is the dark emotional state at odds with focusing on safety? Geez, does Putin lose and then lose it? That's extreme. Let's lighten up a bit though. Astrology plays out in different ways. I still see the Venus sextile Jupiter alignment dealing with something in war, although it could be peace talks, which would be great. If I step away from the darkest of interpretations with the lunar eclipse, I still don't see it on a positive light due to the eclipse happening in Scorpio. It could be a dark, depressing feeling because of what is being focused on that keeps us secure, like money. Writing this update on March 25th, we all know what's been going on in the banking sector recently. I wish I could see this one more positively. Most astrology has its positive and its dark side. My interpretation just isn't great right now. Oops. For Aquarius rising today, good things with your kids if you have them, flows nicely with your sibling if you have them. Focus on your family, but your career might take a hit right now. One interpretation could be a great time all around with the family, but like I said, your career might suffer a bit right now. If you don't have siblings or kids, let's take another look. It is prime time to hook up with a neighbor down the hall if you've been interested. Your focus might be wanting to stay closer to home, in which case this scenario could be super convenient. If you work with this person though, think twice about it. This could be detrimental, but you don't really need astrology to tell you that. Now let's take family and hookups out of the equation for everyone else. You might be really enjoying some sort of hobby right now. It could have to do with cars or might just be close to home. There might be some changes at home that throws a wrench in your career direction. Do what you can to keep your career on track, but know that this too shall pass. So you might as well enjoy whatever this fun thing is that's close to home. Sunday, May 7th, Venus ingresses into Cancer from today until June 5th. Review what Venus in Gemini has been like from April 11th until today. Charisma and speech shifts to loving home and family and caring for families. A motherly and fertile time for the next few weeks as spring pops into full bloom. Tuesday, May 9th, the Sun in Taurus is conjunct Uranus in Taurus. It appears we are secure, so we are less likely to see what just got rocked in our security. The Sun could be focused in on the luxurious side of Taurus. Uranus could shake up what keeps us stable and secure. No water signs here. This transit is solidly in an earth sign, but again, I'm going with the Titanic. The first class is focused on the luxury of their experience, and then surprise, an unexpected shakeup in what keeps you secure. Wednesday, May 10th, Uranus begins covering its shadow period at roughly 18 degrees 57 minutes. I also saw 19 degrees 5 minutes listed, so somewhere within there, for the retrograde that begins August 29th. There will be an interesting station in August because it will be within a day of an Aquarius full moon, but we'll get to that at a later date. It will go direct around January 28th, 2024, and will cover its shadow around May 13th, 2024. Friday, May 12th, Mercury retrograde in Taurus sextiles Saturn in Pisces, and Venus in Cancer sextiles Mercury retrograde in Taurus. Reviewing communication dealing with security flows with limitations of consciousness or limitations of water, or talks reviewing money works for those who fall through the cracks in our structures. For the Venus sextile Cancer part, I might say good care works with reviewing talks of security, or are there talks about the homelessness issues? Are there talks about a water shortage? Whatever this problem is, today seems to be a day where people actually care to try to solve the problem. Venus in Cancer sextile Mercury in Taurus, even if it is retrograde, makes me feel hopeful. Mercury sextile Saturn is a bit more uncertain for me since we've still got to suss out what Saturn and Pisces representation would be. Aries rising, you might be rethinking how you spend your money right now. You've probably had a good bit of unexpected expenses, likely for some years by now. This could have to do with health issues in the hospital or rehab, etc. It could be something where you might be alone more often recently. Luckily, your family should be willing to help out. If you don't have any family around, maybe you're able to bring in some extra income with your home for a bit. It could be a viable solution for these bills piling up. Saturday, May 13th, Venus in Cancer trines Saturn in Pisces. Love, beauty, and cohesion of home, family, maybe homeland security, works in sync with limitations on consciousness or structure for creativity. Love of caring for people works with structure in the arts. Loving care works with discipline and psychedelics. One of the potential Saturn and Pisces themes I haven't really delved into yet has been the reverse of a structure for psychedelics, more like a restriction of drugs. So we could also potentially see genuine caring people trying to restrict drugs among the population. I know some people feel that wouldn't help, but I think if it were to be going down this way, it would be coming from a place of people actually caring about those who have substance abuse issues. Sagittarius rising. Man, I'm really going dark recently. Sorry. It's possible a parent passed away, but the good news is you'll have an inheritance coming your way. Or if something happens to your home, potentially water damage, you should be getting a decent amount of insurance money back. On Sunday, May 14th, Mercury stations direct in Taurus at 5 degrees 51 minutes. Whatever the Mercury in Taurus topic was from April 7th to April 21st, likely about security, money, food, or shelter, etc., should have been reviewed from April 21st until today. From today, May 14th, until May 31st, we should see the topic resolve itself. So to sum it May 1st to the 14th, I feel like there is a buildup in the beginning, followed up by a feeling of being blindsided. There's a desire to be supportive, but then a storm hits right in the face. I feel like there's a lot of concern in taking care of people. After the dust settles a bit, there are some different potentials, again, kind of bird boxing this one since we haven't identified Saturn and Pisces yet. We could potentially see another new deal for the artists, like for the 1930s. There is potential to make good use of psychedelics to help people. However, there's also the possibility of limiting and stopping these substances as well. Saturn can be limiting or it can be structure. There will likely be a lot of reviewing what the next steps should be to clean up this mess. Monday, May 15th, Mars in Cancer trines Neptune in Pisces. Anger, action, separation, fighting about families or how to care for people works in sync with dreamy art, unclear or misunderstandings of abstract topics. Action to care helps the mentally ill or mental health. Tough love dealing with drug abuse. Libra rising, you are likely running yourself down at work right now, but also probably enjoy it. This energy at work could easily run your health down if you aren't careful. If your hard work isn't running you down, you might just be really frazzled in the rest of your daily habits around now. It could be easy to neglect your regular routine. Luckily for you, this should be okay, but if you're a bit overwhelmed, just know there's a reason for it. Tuesday, May 16th, Jupiter ingresses into Taurus. Justice, truth, winning, expansion are good things related to war, shifts to justice or expansion of security. There will likely be a focus on plentiful resources for the next few months. Luxurious opulence will probably be more prevalent. The rich get rich richer. Leo rising. Great things are coming your way in your career or general direction. It could also be something wonderful for one of your parents. Regardless, Jupiter in the 10th is bound to bring you success. On Wednesday, May 17th, Jupiter in Taurus squares Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. Truth, justice, expansion of security, money, food, and or shelter is at a turning point with reviewing a total change over mass amounts of people. Or good things about safety, security, or stability needs to be reviewed in terms of a total change in technology and humanitarianism. Good intentions dealing with security needs to find a way to work in reviewing the transformation of large groups of society. This just seems like a greater divide in the inequality problem we see everywhere. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. With Pluto retrograde, though, I wonder if the large groups of people are pushing back in some way. Scorpio rising, it looks like things are going great with a partner, most likely looking at a romantic partner for this interpretation. It looks to me like you two are discussing your living situations. Are you thinking of moving in? Or maybe you're adoring your partner, but your family is being guarded or doesn't trust your partner. If it's a business partner, it looks like you two are on the same page and things are going great. However, this work might be at the expense of your home or family. Something might be changing at home or with family that is calling for your attention. Thursday, May 18th, the Sun in Taurus sextiles Neptune in Pisces. Focus on security flows with anonymous leaks to collective consciousness. This gives me the Edward Snowden feels when he leaked the information about the NSA spying on American citizens, which is weird because just this past week, this is April 11th right now, we've been having a bunch of leaked documents happen right now, so I wonder if this is going to tie in. So this is just very coincidental that I had written this part. Taurus rising, this could be a great time period to do with something creative with the group. Also, if you have an audience, today would probably be a good day to perform somewhere, especially if you're recording something. Friday, May 19th, Mercury in Taurus sextiles Saturn in Pisces, a new moon in Taurus at 28 degrees, 25 minutes. I have a number of different possibilities. Communication about security flows with restriction of consciousness or culture, citing safety reasons in order to not tell us the full story. Communication about what keeps things stable works with restricting drugs or works with a constructive structure for psychedelics. Communication about what keeps us stable works with malleable structure. New seeds planted for security, stability, or something we can hold on to. Those are all the different kind of keywords I just kind of pulled together. So then synthesizing, I jump into like, are we not being told the truth? And this time it is honestly to keep us safe? Most of the time it seems like deception, but with Taurus needing stability and Saturn providing structure or limitations, I could see this actually being necessary this time. I could also see this being a time for some sort of drug reform, although it could go either way. Saturn wants something definitive and Pisces is just a trip. This could also just be another scenario of suggested guidelines rather than mandates again. With the new moon also in Taurus, this is likely a new idea about something for stabilization. Virgo rising. Communication about planting a new seed dealing with something religious flows with your partner's discipline. Okay, so I feel like this one was too easy. I'm going to a baptism on May 18th and my husband is going to be the godfather. Totally fits though. If it's not dealing with something religious, it could be planting new seeds to discuss faraway travel with your partner. Their schedule might be difficult to work with, or maybe your partner takes on some of the responsibility of planning it. If there is nothing religious and no romantic partner around, maybe you have a brilliant new idea for something very philosophical or political and your business partner is ready to help you follow through with this. Saturn in the 7th and having good aspects makes me think the Saturnian influence deals more with responsibility than with restriction. Saturday, May 20th, Mars ingresses into Leo until July 10th. Review what Mars in Cancer has been like since March 25th, 2023 until today. We also have Mars and Leo opposite Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. Anger, fighting, separating, warlike, athletic, action, shifts from home, maybe land, family, nurturing and caring to fiery and cocky, flamboyant-like action. Like, you want some of this? Fiery, attention-taking rage is at odds with reviewing transformation of technology, humanity, or large groups of people. The king's anger is not on the same page as how the rest of the people are reviewing what has been totally transforming in their lives. I could very much see this transit as the elite versus the people. It's like Trump at his worst, totally at odds with what the general public is dealing with in terms of realizing the total changes the little people are undergoing. Mars in Leo is going to call attention to itself, but everyone else is busy trying to figure out how to navigate these changes and survive. Capricorn rising, the focus of your anger is switching just slightly, but not much. Rather than the personal issues and clashes with your partner, the clash will now be focused on your shared resources. If you're getting divorced, this looks like a rough bit of time in terms of splitting who gets what. Your financial situation is about to be going through a transformation for a long time. Mars is just throwing fire on it. If you aren't getting divorced or splitting assets with a partner, perhaps you owe a lot of money to the government. I advise you more than most people to be as clean with your money keeping as possible. Sunday, May 21st, the Sun ingresses into Gemini until June 21st. Review what the Sun in Taurus has been like for you since April 20th. Then the Sun in Gemini trines Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. Focus shifts from security to communication and travel. Focus on communication works in sync with reviewing power changes amongst the people. I'm feeling positive about this day overall. Rather than just being given directives, is the authority finally checking in to see what the rest of us wants? It could also be a focus on communication that works with reviewing the total change of technology, internet, or AI. Is this all moving too fast? What needs to be reconsidered in this Aquarian topic? For Gemini rising, back in March I had mentioned how I think your 9th house transformation will be interesting to watch. Around today should be a good opportunity to see how this is beginning to reveal itself to you. Are you beginning to question something you always believed? Take a moment to sit with this and mull these ideas over. It will continue to present itself to you for the next 20-ish years, so might as well start assessing where you stand with it. You don't need the answer today, but if you recognize this type of thought crossing your mind, don't blow it off. Monday, May 22nd, the Sun in Gemini sextiles Mars in Leo. Focus on communication and travel flows with action from fiery, angry elitists. Or perhaps communication is going better with the elite? Do the people in charge finally fix something dealing with our transportation infrastructure? I get the feeling it's like the focus on travel works with a pissed off leader. It could also just be a heated discussion in general, but that's not really specific. I wonder what Trump will spout out on Truth Social. It's hard to not think about him with these transits since his natal Mars is in the 1st. Cancer rising, watch out. With the Sun in your 12th, hospital, isolation, hidden enemies, jail, etc., and Mars in your 2nd, I could see an accident costing a lot of money. If not that, are you spending a lot of money on an addiction? Are you spending money in secret? With the sextile, you'll probably get away with it for now. Tuesday, May 23rd, Mars in Leo squares Jupiter in Taurus. Raging anger, incredible athleticism, or warlike action with kings is at a turning point with expansion and what keeps us secure. Is it like something is piercing a protective layer intentionally? Raging fire is at a turning point with plentiful resources. Is there a fight for resources amongst the countries? Is there a sabotage like the Nord Stream pipeline? Or is there a fire that destroys something beautiful? Friday, May 26th, Venus in Cancer sextiles Uranus in Taurus. Loving care of family or homeland flows with sudden unexpected change in resources. Is something regenerative? Is it a renewable resource? I definitely get the feeling of something generous happening right now. Venus in Cancer represents to me someone who wants to nurture and take care of something. This desire should work well with something that suddenly changes that we rely on for stability. Everything seems to have shaken up, but the better part of humanity is presenting itself right now through this event. Sunday, May 28th, the Sun in Gemini squares Saturn in Pisces. Focus on communication is at a turning point with limiting consciousness or structure in the arts. Or focus on travel is at a turning point with restricting water. Is there some problem being discussed about Neuralink? There could be a pushback on censorship. Is there some accident in the water, like a cruise ship accident or something like that? And on Wednesday, May 31st, my birthday, Mercury covers its shadow period. The topic from April 7th to April 21st that was reviewed from April 21st to May 14th should be resolved by today. For me, that's in my 9th house. Something legal, philosophical, astrological, or dealing with faraway travel? I'm not sure yet since I'm writing this update on April 1st. Maybe by the time I record this, I'll start to see what the topic is. So to sum up, May 15th to 28th, I see the following statements probably making sense. There are talks about caring for people in mental health or illness. Not very specific, but that's what I got at the moment. We have lots of resources, but there are issues in handling it in a new way. Potential for security leaks, or it's just hard to tell if we're getting the full story. It was calmer before, but now someone or thing blows things dramatically out of proportion. It gets calmer again and refocused overall, but another wrench gets thrown in. Potential for unexpected good change in resources, maybe renewable or regenerative. Are there new Neuralink issues or boundaries with how it can help with consciousness? And overall for May, I'll tie it all together as a surprise attack. People help each other. Then there's difficulty staying on topic because of drama. Something good with resources, then issues with consciousness. That's it for May. Thanks for checking out this video, and please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, share, click the notification button, all that crap. I love to hear any of your feedback, whether it made sense to you or you saw a different observation or just have a comment. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at kates.perspective and on Facebook at facebook.com/katesastrologyperspective. Use your mind and please be kind.